Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nuggets of Wisdom. My name is Empress Pamela. Today, I am sharing this book by Shad, Helmstetter, Negative Self-Talk and How to Change It. We are on chapter 4, so if you want to catch up, you can look at the previous videos on this playlist. And there's 9 chapters in all, so join me in the following chapters as well. But today we're doing chapter 4. So nuggets of wisdom that you can bite off in bite-sized pieces, let's say. Chapter 4, Negative Self-Talk Disorder. One of the most common behavioral problems people face today is the problem I have called negative self-talk disorder. The disorder has symptoms that can be identified and it can be treated, but left unchecked, it can create catastrophic results. The problem is that while many people suffer from negative self-talk disorder, even though its effects are terribly damaging, most people are not aware they have it. Few of them have any understanding of the chaos negative self-talk is creating in their lives. The following few questions will tell you if negative self-talk disorder may be a problem in your own life. Do you often think negative thoughts? Do you feel down or depressed for no apparent reason? Do you have trouble focusing on your goals and accomplishing the things you want to accomplish? Do you argue more than you should? Do you often feel that life is working against you? Do you feel you are not in control of your future? Do you put off or procrastinate doing the things you need to do? Do you often see the worst first and the best last? Do you talk about yourself in any way that puts you down or makes you think less of yourself? Do you find that you are self-critical and often critical of others? Is a noticeable amount of your self-talk each day made up of negative thoughts? Do you have trouble seeing the world and life in general as bright and as positive as you would like it to be? Do you find that you have stopped believing in your dreams and have started to believe that those dreams are no longer true for you? If negative self-talk is playing a role in your life, you probably already see the results. People who are negative make themselves less capable at problem solving than people who are more positive. They are unnecessarily unhappy, and they make themselves that way. They often have an inaccurately negative picture of the future, and without knowing it, they afflict or affect everyone around them. The problem is that negative self-talk disorder is an unconsciously acquired disorder that becomes physically, chemically wired into your brain. It becomes an actual disorder, faulty wiring in the brain. If you do nothing to change it, it not only stays, it also gets progressively worse. It becomes a part of your programs and follows the rules under which your brain operates. Imagine meeting a sour, pessimistic, down-in-the-mouth person who is negative about everything. When you meet someone like that, it is clear that person did not suddenly become a negative, unhappy person overnight. People who are super negative, whether they are aware of it or not, have worked at it, probably for years. Day after day, thought after thought, they have, usually without knowing it, wired their brains to see the world in a darker, more insecure, less enlightened, and optimistic way. If you ask them to look at the world in a bright and positive way, they can no longer do it. They're too negative. Their brains are now wired to be negative and to think that way. And that's how they see themselves and the world around them. The 3 levels of negative self-talk disorder. It is plain to see from the following brief overview that negative self-talk is not only a progressive disorder, but it is also a disorder which can grow to the point that it literally destroys lives. Here are the symptoms of the 3 most recognizable levels of negative self-talk disorder. Negative self-talk disorder, level 1, the beginner. This is the person who is just beginning to wire his or her brain with more negative than positive. The problem may start with a single bad experience, or it may be the result of a series of difficult life circumstances. Or it may be the result of repeated negative programming from others. The result is a loss of belief in a positive outcome. Negative self-talk disorder, the level 1 person, key symptoms. Expresses frequent doubt. Often feels depressed for no apparent reason. Worries a lot. Begins to feel a lack of control of life in general. Expects unrealistic bad things to happen. Begins to complain more often. Smiles or laughs less often than usual. Becomes self-critical and critical of others. Shows signs of beginning to focus on the negative. Begins to lose trust in things working out right. Negative self-talk disorder, level 2, the practicing downer. Level 2 is the person who has practiced negative self-talk long enough for it to become that person's default way of looking at life. This person begins to miss life's opportunities by assuming the role of victim. They see the world as being unfair, to themselves in particular, and they are beginning to give up on anything wonderful or positive. The level 2 person, key symptoms. Is quick to point out what won't work. Is often argumentative. Stops being an active listener. Often begins the day with a feeling of fatigue or dread. Creates a cycle of self-induced depression. Begins to be more focused on self than others. May start to withdraw from social engagements. Often sees problems as bigger than they are. Is increasingly unable to see positive alternatives. Becomes hypercritical of others. Becomes angry at outcomes. Is seldom fun or uplifting to be around. Frequently shows signs of doubting the future. Increasingly feels a lack of control. Often feels hopeless or discouraged. Negative self-talk disorder, level 3. The graduate negatroid. This is the person who is negative about almost everything. This person has usually experienced long-term negative programming, often from childhood. They don't just have an occasional bad day. The level 3 person doesn't know what a good day looks like. The level 3 person does not live a happy and fulfilled life. Theirs is a life that is not working. A negative attitude and belief system surrounds almost everything the person thinks or believes. The level 3 person key symptoms. Daily sees life from a negative point of view. Has lost all trust in himself or herself and in others. Has lost belief in things changing for the better. Is seldom truly happy and almost never smiles or laughs in a natural, genuinely happy way. Is often selfish and ignores the needs of others. Lives with a daily attitude of criticism and doubt. Believes positive thinking is wishful thinking and criticizes others for being positive. Believes that negative thinking is the realistic way to think. Replaces hope with the acceptance of despair. Replaces action with frustration and anger. Is almost never fun or uplifting to be around. Often forms deep facial stress and frown lines. Adopts a fatalistic, losing view of life. Accepts failure as a natural outcome. Usually ends up in an unhappy life that fails. Because negative self-talk disorder is a progressive disorder, it usually starts gradually, and unless it is dealt with and reversed, it progresses to more and more unhealthy programs until those programs added together become a way of life. There is a reason why this happens. It starts with how the brain is wired. That concludes chapter 4. I'll see you in chapter 5.